lesson in Microsoft PowerPoint, and you can see here this one's going to be a little bit different because I'm actually going to give you a presentation that's kind of already halfway put together, and we're just going to add to it. Alright, you have a list of directions for this and a link to that presentation that I was just looking at right here in Microsoft Teams under assignment. Alright, and this might change a little bit as I'm recording this video. I might go back and add some things, but for the most part, your learning goal is that you'll be able to use themes and slide backgrounds in PowerPoint. Your vocabulary is theme, format background, pattern fill, texture fill, and solid fill. Alright? And then the objective is that students will modify an already existing PowerPoint presentation. And we only have about 14 steps here. It's really not that difficult of a presentation, but if you haven't already, go ahead and click here and open it up so that you can see the actual PowerPoint presentation, and this is kind of what it's going to look like. It's, how many slides? 13 slides, and it's about Shelbyfield Animal Rescue, and it's a list of their adoptable pets, alright? We're just going to kind of edit it, alright? It has the mission statement in there, and then it has cute pictures in there of puppies and kittens and guinea pigs and you name it, you know. Lots of cuteness. So it says perform a save as and choose your OneDrive as your file location. Change the name of the document to slide basics. Alright, so if you haven't done that, right now you can see the name of my document is displayed right here at the top of my PowerPoint presentation. So I'm going to go ahead and do a file. I'm going to do a save as, and I'm just going to go ahead and put it on my desktop. You guys can go ahead and select your OneDrive for this one. Slide basics. Okay, and if mine looks a little different, it's because I am working on a Mac. Alright? So, step 1, done. We have done that. It says change the theme of the presentation to a theme of your choice, and then specify a variant for that theme. So here's what I'm talking about when I say variants and themes. So if you go into the Design tab, you're going to notice that we have this thing called a theme, alright? And themes are really great, but they do affect the entire presentation, alright? So here is a list of my available themes right now, and you can see if you hover over them, they do have names, alright? So let's click the arrow here so we can go ahead and see all of them. Here we go. This one's called Badge, this one's called Integral, this one's called Wisp, alright? And, you know, there's more available to you guys online, and in Office 365 we might actually have some different ones. I haven't even looked, really. And I'm working in the actual app of PowerPoint. So this is kind of what comes with PowerPoint. It's been there for a long time, all of these themes. And this one you're going to want to remember, the droplet theme. Alright, and when you choose a theme, it's going to put like a background and all kinds of cool stuff on all of your slides. It affects the entire presentation. And then when I'm talking about a variant for that theme, I'm talking about right over here. Within that one theme, you have different variants, alright? So if you hover over it, this is the droplet variant, alright? And it just gives you like a little pink hue. You can also change the colors of the theme. So if you want to go for like a yellow-orange droplet kind of thing, you can also change the fonts within that theme, and you can also change the background styles within that theme. So let's just say I want to change my theme variant to this like warm little gradient fill. A gradient is a color that goes from one color to the next, and this one goes, it looks like from blue to pink or something like that. So cool. I have a theme, and I've changed my variant of the theme. Alright, so let's go ahead and do number 5. Delete slide 7. This slide should be blank. Alright, and it is. If you click on the slide, there's a couple different ways to delete a slide. You can just right click on it if you want and say delete slide, or maybe not. I thought it was here. You can just say cut if you want. Or you can literally just press delete on your keyboard, which is probably the easiest way to do it. Alright, and now slide 7, what was slide 8 is now slide 7, which is Flapjack. Alright, the little whippet. Alright. Add a new slide with a title and content layout to the presentation. Alright, so this kind of plays off of our last lesson. I'm going to click all the way down here to my last slide, and I'm actually going to go to the Home tab, or I can go to the Insert tab to insert a new slide, and I want to make sure that I use the title and content slide layout. So I can either do it one of two ways. I can either just say new slide and then go ahead and apply the title and content layout. Is that what it was? Title and content? I've already forgotten. Yeah, title and content layout to the presentation. All right. And I know it's a little different on a PC, but on a Mac, see this little arrow right here that I have right beside new slide? If I click that, I can actually just insert, instead of inserting a blank slide that I then have to change the layout to, I could just insert a title and content slide, all right? So I'm going to go ahead and delete one of these because I don't need both of them. So now I should have 13 slides in my presentation, the last one being a title and content slide, all right? Let me go ahead and get rid of this. In the title placeholder, type adoption event dates, all right? And I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Your shortcut for copy is Control-C on your keyboard, and then your shortcut to paste is always going to be Control-V. All right, so a little bit of an easier shortcut there. All right. Select the content placeholder and delete it. Insert a text box and type today's date inside of it. All right, so whenever you're selecting a text box, don't ever just kind of click inside of it, or a content box, I'm sorry. Always click on the outside border of the box. If you notice, when I'm clicked inside, I actually have like a dotted line. See that dotted line around my content box? I want to click on it and make it a solid line, and then I'm just going to go ahead and press delete. I'm going to go to the Insert tab, and I'm going to see Text Box, all right? And I'm just going to draw my text box, and it says Insert today's date, all right? So I can either just type in today's date, or I can actually come up here and say date and time, and they'll give you all kinds of different formats for that date, and I'm just going to say okay, just like that, all right? Just a little practice with date and time. And the cool thing about that is if I open this up tomorrow, it will update for tomorrow's date, so it'll say 8/19/19, all right? So let's go ahead and look at the rest of this. Select the content balloons and text box. Change the slide size to standard 4 to 3. A dialog box will appear asking if you want to maximize. Okay, so slide size is actually kind of important because it's actually one of the things that you're going to see on your test. And under the Design tab, all the way over here to the right, you're going to see slide size. And there's only two options. There's standard 4:3 and there's widescreen 16:9. All right, so I'm going to say standard 4:3. You're going to have something that pops up on the Windows side. I believe it says Ensure Fit, and you want to say Ensure Fit. Mine says Scale. And that's it. All right, and now you can see my presentation is not set up for widescreen viewing. It's set up just for regular television. All right, and okay, 3 slides of our own, and I'm going to go ahead and change this a little bit and make sure that you put this in a specific place. Make 3 slides of your own with some of your favorite characters from television. For example, Psyduck. So what we're doing here, if Pokemon needed a new home, what would his adoption slide look like? What we want to do is we want to make 3 slides that kind of look like this. And I'm going to say that they can be any kind of mythical creature that you want. But let's go ahead and click to the our last adoptable pet, which is Egg. And I'm going to go ahead and insert 3 new slides. All right, so under Insert or Home tab, I'm going to say New Slide, New Slide, New Slide. All right. It says to make up some animals that you would like to have adoptions for. So one of the ones I always do, like if I were to adopt a pet or make an adoption slide, I probably want to go ahead, and you can do mythical creatures if you want to. That's always kind of fun, like Falcor from Neverending Story. Like, what would his adoption slide look like? Like, he needs a very large home, you know, somebody with a lot of time and care, and he needs lots of space to roam around. So I'm going to do one for a tarantula, probably. I'm going to probably do one for a snake, and maybe a fictional one for maybe like Falcor from Neverending Story. All right, so I'm going to pause that and do that, and I'll check back on you in just a minute. All right. So here's a slide that I came up with for one of my tarantulas that I am going to adopt out. Not really, but just for this project, you know. Her name is Pinky Minaj. She's a pink-toed tarantula. Scientific name, Avicularia avicularia. She's about a year old. She's a female. She likes crickets, roaches, and super worms. She dislikes humans, and she doesn't really like me either. So, you know, whatever. I know I'm a human too, but, you know, she specifically doesn't like me. Anyway, I have two more here that I'm going to fill out with some adoptable animals. And again, I'm just kind of matching the format of the already existing PowerPoint presentation. All right? And that's pretty much all I have to do here. Let me go ahead and see here. Practice using different kinds of fill background styles. Okay, so one of these three slides that I'm inserting has to use what's called a texture fill. One has to use a pattern fill, and one should utilize a color fill. All right, let me show you guys how to do that real quick. So there are themes that'll go onto every single background, but if you just want to change the background to one slide, you want to go to the Design tab, and you want to say Format Background. All right, and when you say Format Background, you're going to get some options. You have a gradient fill here. Gradients are really cool. Again, they go from like one color to the next, so you can pick your colors down here. I could change this slide, let's say, to like yellow. Maybe not yellow, but whatever, you get the idea. I could affect where the gradient starts right here and where it stops. All right. The different types of gradients. Right now, this one's called a linear gradient, but I could do a radial gradient that'll come from the bottom right corner, it looks like. Then you also have picture or texture fills. Let's go through textures first, since it went ahead and applied a texture to it. Okay. Your textures are right here, and they've been the same texture since like the beginning of time. All right. If you hover over these textures, they actually have names. And the next part of your direction is going to tell you to make sure that you remember the name of the texture or the pattern that you use. So let's just say for this one, I have a cork pattern that I would like to use for Pinky Minaj. I know it's not pretty, but whatever. Somewhere in here, I'm going to go ahead and insert a text box, and you'll notice this in your directions as well, that says cork bark pattern. And I'm just going to kind of stick this somewhere where it's not like the center of attention, because it's all about this stuff, but I also want to make sure that you guys know how to insert background textures, and how to find out the name of those textures, because on your test they might actually ask you to insert a cork bark texture background. Okay, so for this one, let's go ahead and go to slide 13. Even though I don't have anything on it yet, let's go ahead and this time, instead of using a texture fill, let me show you how to use a picture fill. You can just upload a file right here, and let's just say I want to go ahead and go to my photos, and I'll use like a picture of my dog as a background. All right, I need to definitely rotate that picture, but you know, that's pretty much, here's what I always see people do. I always see people Google pictures and then like stretch that picture out over the actual background. Like, you know, somebody will copy one of these jobs and be like, oh, I want that to be the background of my slide, you know, and they'll paste it on here, and they'll start stretching it out over the actual slide, you know, until it like covers the whole slide, and it just starts to look really gross and, you know, unprofessional. So that's not the way to insert a picture for the background of your slides. All right, make sure that you guys are actually using the picture mode. You're going to go to insert. You're going to go all the way over here, and you're going to go ahead and insert your picture as a background. All right, using the file key or the file option here. All right, and you can use any picture you want. I just grabbed the first one that I. All right. Let's go ahead and go to slide 14. In slide 14, you're going to notice that it wants us to use, what is it? Oh, just a color. All right, so just a solid fill color. All right, the trick to colors is that they all have names as well. And I will want you guys to go ahead and put the name of the color. So let's just say I want to go ahead and rock out with this color. It's called Red Accent 1. And when I just hover over these colors, you'll see that they all do have names. This is just purple. All right, but if you go up, this is like lavender, accent since darker, 50%. They get pretty elaborate with their names. So I'm just going to keep this one, Red Accent 2. And somewhere in here, I'm going to put a text box that says Red Accent 2. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and make sure that I have my adoptable pet in here. I might want to do like Falcor from Neverending Story or something like that, or I might want to do my other tarantulas. I'll show you what my finished product here is at the end of the presentation. All right, so let's go ahead and that's it. All right, that's it. When you're done, save your background, and I'm going to pause this real quick and finish up the presentation, and then I'll show you what the finished product should look like. Alright guys, so just in the interest of time and making this video kind of shorter, you can see here that I have a texture fill with Pinky Minaj, and I have the name of it, Cork Bark Pattern, right here. And I just kind of made up a slide about Pinky Minaj. I also did a slide about my ferret, Tink. She's a ferret, female, 2 years old. She's spayed. She likes chicken, fish, toys, and blankets. She dislikes getting her nails trimmed. And this is the name of the theme that I used here. And you can see here I did replace the background of my dog with the background of my alien that I saw right before school started. I know it's a rocket launch, but either way. Go ahead and fill this out with one more animal of your choice and make it kind of look like the other slides, and then go ahead and turn it in. And that's it, guys. Make sure you remember how to use those different fill techniques right there. Gradient fill, texture fill, and pattern fill. And make sure you know how to add a photo to the background of your slide.